Donald Trump versus, well, just about everybody. The president took the world stage today addressing the United Nations General Assembly in New York. The speech he gave was, shall we say, light on diplomacy.
What is the purpose of the United Nations? For now, all they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed. Both the immigration and their suicidal energy ideas will be the death of Western Europe. I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell. It's climate change. Because if it goes higher or lower, whatever the hell happens, there's climate change. It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion. Best-selling hat. Trump was right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything.
I don't say that in a braggadocious way. I was just right about everything. Let's get off the sidelines and head into the arena. Our panel is here, along with CNN chief international anchor Christian Amanpour. Christian, so much to dig through. Which one of these doors would you like to open?
Well, Casey, look, it is the most incredibly important moment right now. It's 80 years since the UN was created in the ashes of what happened in World War II. And since then, America has led the world. And what Trump is actually basically saying is, world, I don't need you. If you want to help, fine, but we can do it ourselves. And more to the point, we're retreating anyway. And as we retreat, we're also going to be doing quite a lot of destruction in the fact that they have cut so much to the really good things the UN does in terms of all the humanitarian arms, and with its USAID cuts has amplified all of that sort of retreat of US soft power. So that's one thing at a time when it's really, really necessary for the United States to add its weight to where it can really make a difference. People are actually dying because of these cuts. Wars and other crises are going on unimpeded because of a lot of these cuts. That was obviously the beginning of the administration and the Elon Musk taking the axe to USAID, but transmitted also into the UN. On the other issue, of course, war in our time is at a terrible, terrible height. He said that he's solved about 7. You know, there's a lot of dispute about that. The real wars that are really taking a huge amount of US, European, NATO, Middle East attention are Israel's continued war on Gaza and Russia's continued invasion of Ukraine. Up until now, President Trump is essentially elected to say a few things about Putin or sometimes, Netanyahu, but never to put the weight of the presidency behind, leveraging that weight to stopping these wars and to getting those leaders to actually listen to the U.S., who has the unique leverage. Today, he did say things to President Zelensky and to the assembled press about what he would be willing to do. He said that, yes, given Putin's provocations, escalations, testing NATO, he did think NATO countries were perfectly entitled to shoot down flying objects, including Russian planes, if they strayed into NATO territory.
Can I actually stop you there? Because we have that soundbite. I'd like to play it for everybody, and then please, we'll pick it up on the other side. Let's watch.
The biggest disappointment, but I think that'll happen eventually, is the Ukraine and Russia situation. But we've settled. I thought that was going to be the easiest one because of my relationship with Putin, but unfortunately, that relationship didn't mean anything, unfortunately.
So there you have it. What do you take away from that?
Well, it's another construction. He said a few other things when he was with President Zelensky. He kept giving Putin yet another deadline, but also acknowledged that Zelensky had really been fighting like his people. The Ukrainians had fought really, really valiantly to not collapse under the consensus that, Ukraine was going to collapse or have to capitulate when Russia invaded. The question really is, what happens next? Words are one thing. It's good that he had a good meeting with Zelensky, unlike the one in the White House many months ago. That's good. It's good that he says that U.S. and NATO should challenge the repeated tests that Russia is making to their, to the NATO alliance. On the other hand, on other big issues, he basically said, as you played, you were all going, your nations are going to hell because of untrammeled immigration. And then he went on about this gigantic green energy hoax and peddled a lot of conspiracy theories from that very important international platform, and said that all those nations were going to fail by trying to ameliorate what is actually climate change that's having a destructive effect on our planet. And he was denying the science and bigging up those conspiracy theories. So that was on the negative side.
All right, Christiane Amanpour, really appreciate your reporting today from New York. Thank you so much for being with us.